Hello, Midwest Speedfest. My name is May. I'm one of the staff members here with the organization, and I'm very honored to have some amazing guests with me. If you would like to introduce yourselves.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Max Kabachenko. I'm one of the volunteers that works with Protez, the nonprofit here in Minnesota, and we work with the with our local Ukrainian diaspora and community. And what we do is we help provide prosthetics services for wounded Ukrainian soldiers as well as civilians since the war started. And I'm here today with one of these soldiers. His name is Vadim, and hopefully we can kind of bring light to the situation, and if you guys have any questions, we'll try to answer them as best as we can.
Awesome, thank you. I have a question first for you. Would you mind talking a little bit about how Protez Foundation has helped you so far, both with all of the work that they've been doing?
Она спрашивает, как тебе наша организация помогла с протезированием и вообще какая тебе допомога была для тебя?
Я не знаю, я що сказати. Крута фірма.
He gave a very simple but curt response. He said, it's been amazing. Just for like statistics wise, since the war started, August was the very first group that we took in, and we've helped over 65 Ukrainian soldiers and civilians so far. Our youngest patients are kids. They're 9 and 13 years old. They live here in Minnesota. We've also helped some civilians as well. The majority predominantly are the Ukrainian soldiers, like you see, like Vadim here. So we basically just try and improve the quality of life and get them on their feet within about 3 to 4 weeks' time. So it's a pretty short time frame that we try to squeeze people in.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate all of the work that you've been doing. And it's been amazing to be raising money for this cause, for this event so far. Sort of to switch things up a little bit, I know you just arrived here, but what have your thoughts been on the event so far?
This event here?
Yeah, VGMCon in general.
Класно дуже. Не знаю, що сказати.
Супер. That's actually one of the things me and him were talking about, and Vadim he hasn't played video games in quite some time. I think when we were having a little bit of a break prior, it's been about over 10 years. So for him, this is something. This is interesting. This is new. He's quite amazed at the turnout of people. They don't really have stuff like this back in Ukraine, just because of the war and everything that's going on. So there is a lot of learning like new cultures and just stuff that we do here stateside, like these conventions, for example. So it's pretty interesting. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry, just a second. If anybody out there or anybody watching live right now has any questions, please feel free to speak up or drop them in the chat. Yeah. Do you have? Yes. Yeah, that's an excellent question.
So I think the question is, how has the Protez Foundation helped, and as a community, just besides making the prosthetics? So one of the things that we do is a lot of these guys and gals, and we do have female soldiers. In fact, the last group we had a combat medic. She had a partial right arm amputation, and her husband and her son were actually they're also serving on the front line. But to kind of answer your question, we try to take them on trips just to see the United States. You know, a lot of Americans don't I don't want to generalize, but I don't think a lot of people realize what a huge diversity we have, like ecologically, the United States. You know, we have mountains, we have deserts, we have prairies, we have forests. It's a very diverse country. So we try to show these guys, you know, let's take them to Florida, let's take them to Seattle, let's take them to see mountains. You know, some of these guys haven't been to the ocean, they've never seen the ocean, and they're here for 3 to 4 weeks, and we try to take what takes 3 to 4 months and condense it down to 3 weeks. That includes physical therapy, but we also have to be cognizant that we want to give them a mental break. They're coming off, you know, frontline combat duty, and we just try to relax them a little bit. So just kind of doing non-war things, not, you know, non-physical rehab, just like, hey, let's go to the Mall of America, let's go on roller coasters, I think they went to Chicago last summer, and they rented a pontoon and they just partied on the boat in the middle of the lake for 4th of July. So and they had a blast. So just trying to give them a break from the war more than anything, and that's kind of one of the many ways that we try to get their mind off things. And yeah, so. Как выглядит типичный день? Рано просыпаемся, физическая терапия, рубим до самого последнего, 6 дней неделю почти. Да, ну, ты знаешь. Me and him are laughing because it's a long day. It's a very long day. I used to host one of the Ukrainian soldiers in the previous group, and we would get up between 7 and 8 a.m. Drive to the clinic. It's about a 45-minute drive, and then these guys are doing anywhere between 8 to 12 hours of physical therapy, and this is 6 days a week. So they're pretty wiped. But the majority of it is literally the day that they land, we take them to the clinic that same night, and we start measuring for their prosthesis. Within the next 2 to 3 days, we make the prosthesis itself is made, and they actually learn how to start walking. The biggest issue is when you haven't been mobile for a while, you literally have to teach yourself how to walk around. And these also your extremity and your if you're an amputee, your tissue is not used to bearing all that weight. So we push a lot of stuff out at them really, really quick. And so they have to get used to walking around. They kind of fight through the pain, and they get used to being mobile. So a lot of it is just physical therapy, repetition. Walking up and down stairs for people to be like, well, why would you do that? It's because when we send them home, because of all the attacks on the infrastructure, they lose power. There's no lifts. So the guys and gals that have amputations, they have to learn how to go up and down the stairs, which kind of sucks. We wish we didn't have to push them so early, but it's a thing because we had a lot of feedback from our first group. It's like, hey, the building I'm in doesn't have any power. The lift doesn't work. I need to be able to go up and down the stairs, and I've never done this before. How do I do it? So this is something that we've kind of had to adapt to and adjust to in order to make sure that they have that smooth transition.
Yeah. Thank you. There was another excellent question that showed up in chat. Are there other good ways that we can help Protez Foundation after donating?
Она спросила вопрос, как можно еще допомогу показать, если еще гроши, кроме грошей выдавать денег. Thank you for that question. So one of the biggest ways is just bringing awareness. If you could just share our organization with friends and family. If you are local to the Twin Cities area, we do usually have a group flying every 3 to 4 weeks, and we try to come out and just give them a big hearty welcome, just because it's important for them to, imagine you're coming in, you've had a really traumatic injury, you don't know anyone, and you're flying into a foreign country. That would be very stressful, and so we try to give them a huge, big welcome, and it's just really awesome when we have, several hundred people waiting in the terminal and just, greeting them. So that could be, honestly, one of the biggest ways that you guys can help us. If you have connections, a lot of the times we try to take these people to sporting events. Like I think the last time we took them out to Minnesota Wild Game, or just even, honestly, donations. These prostheses they're very high-end, they're very complex. Just to give you an understanding, they have over 34 different sensors in there, including accelerometers and gyroscopes. And when these individuals are walking, it actually learns their gait and how they walk. And we have an app that we've developed that syncs to their smartphone. So when they get back to Ukraine, we can download the data and we can tell them how to adjust their gait and walk. But like I said, they're expensive. I think the cheapest set is between $20,000 up to $80,000 per prosthesis. So.
Well, thank you very much. Are there other opportunities that Protez has for volunteering or getting more involved with the organization itself?
Yes. Just people volunteering their time to. We have a lot of demand for people just being able to transport the Ukrainian soldiers back and forth from appointments, spending time with them, just taking them out somewhere, or if you speak Russian or Ukrainian, we could always use more volunteers that are interpreters, just because there's a lot of technical lingua being discussed back and forth, but even just spending time with them, just showing the appreciation, hey, we're here to help, and we are here to spend time with you.
Thank you. With that, yes. Yes, that's an excellent question. Thank you.
We actually just opened up a clinic back in the Carpathian Mountains, which is Western Ukraine. And previously, if, hey, like my prosthesis doesn't work, well, we would get a phone call at like 3 a.m, like, hey, walk me through this. So with all the donations we've been able to save up over the past year, we were able to actually purchase a building and refurbish it and go ahead and make it into a clinic out there. So now we have a clinic here stateside as well as one over there, and that way basically allows us to provide care for the soldiers that do fly back once they're done here.
Excellent, thank you. And for both of you, as we wrap this up, do you have any messages that you'd like to say out there? Any other messages you'd like to say to anybody watching?
First and foremost, thank you for the amazing support, just in general, to the American diaspora. I'm from Ukraine originally myself. I grew up in the United States, and it's really heartwarming just to see this outpouring of support, even just at a convention like this, just meeting individuals who are taking the time out of their day to come out and support us. And it means a lot. It means a lot to me personally as an American, but also somebody who's born in Ukraine. And I know it means a lot to our Ukrainian soldiers. Everywhere we go, people come up, they ask us, they thank us, and it's been an amazing show of support. So I just really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart and from our organization. We really do appreciate it. So thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always been such a pleasure of mine to use this niche hobby of playing video games on the internet to raise money for charity, and it's truly an honor to be raising money for you guys. Thank you very, very much.